Hello, Internet. I'm late. Yes. It's Wednesday, and I'm just now doing a copyright review. Yes. And the Zuden Sentai Kyujuju isn't even out yet. No, I'm playing. I'm gonna get that review out very soon. Don't worry about it. Probably same day as today. I just am really, really crazy busy. Had a lot of paperwork to do. Anywho, Kamen Rider Wizard, episode 25. I freaking love this episode. I love this episode for many different reasons, but the main reason I do like this episode is the relationship between Kosuke and his grandmother. It's actually a lot more fleshed out right now and brings a lot of heart to the episode. It's the centerpiece of this episode, in my opinion, due to the fact that it's their relationship that is changing due to the events. It's their relationship that drives the events to keep going and keep happening, mostly. So, you're probably wondering, what are these events? Well, as you all know from Kamen Rider episode 24, Kosuke's grandmother has come to Tokyo and has actually turned out to be a gate. So, hilariously awesome phantom known as the Were Shark Were Shark. Anyway, uh, has decided to make her despair by killing her or trying to kill her. I mean, he really sucks at making people despair. But the Gremlin Phantom decides to help out the Were Shark by actually trying to kidnap the grandmother and make her despair by using Kamen Rider Beast. Uh, well, because he's her grandson, so makes sense. But in the end, after trying to kidnap the grandmother, it turns out they actually kidnapped Shupin. Yes, I'm going to call him by his name this time instead of the assistant. They kidnapped Shunpin. Shupin, whatever. They kidnapped Shupin and haul him off. Pretty much the gremlin going, meet me at this point at this time, and we're going to trade the grandmother for the assistant. Yeah, I'm going to call him the assistant from now on. I'm sorry. I keep flip-flopping. Anywho, so the Kamen Rider Beast and Kamen Rider Wizard must come up with either a plan or decide to sacrifice the old woman. Yeah. So we come back at the antique store where Kamen Rider Beast and Kamen Rider Wizard are all pretty much back together at the antique store trying to figure out what to do next. Kamen Rider Beast is distraught that his grandmother actually tried to give herself up to become a phantom, not understanding why she would do it. She simply answers that if he doesn't have phantoms, won't he die? Showing that she is willing to actually sacrifice her own life to keep Kosuke alive. Showing a very huge gesture of unconditional love, which I thought was brilliantly done. Uh, it actually shows Kosuke's grandmother as a really smart person, noticing little clues and hints that in Tokusatsu universe kind of go over everyone's head, including anime, like where it's like it's explained, but then people go, "What? What's going on?" And it's like whatever. Anywho, but Kosuke is not happy that his grandmother wants to sacrifice herself just to keep him alive. And in a very good flashback, it shows Kosuke going out to think about what he has said and what has transpired, and showing that he's going through his mind and flashbacking through his childhood, seeing that his grandmother has always cared about him, though the perspective of a kid sees the grandmother as a nagging, overbearing, overprotective woman, while when he really thinks about how he was acting as a kid, it shows more of the grandmother was trying to protect him from being stupid and reckless, which actually translates a lot into most childhoods. Most kids actually think their parents are overbearing or overprotective or nagging them to death when they're actually just trying to keep them safe because kids don't know better about, well, staying safe. And honestly, it really rings true to more relatable. It makes it relatable. It really does. And I really thought it was handled well in here. Even when a scene where Kosuke comes back to his grandmother and they actually talk about how he has been acting and how when he was a kid, he never realized that his grandmother was trying to protect him, and he pretty much almost breaks down crying to the point where he can't believe that it took him this long to figure out that she was actually just on his side the entire time and wanted to watch out for his best interest. And he feels terrible for actually running her through the rings, just trying to get her out of his life when she's been protecting his life. It's really sweet and endearing and heartfelt, and I really liked it. And again, it gives a good centerpiece to this episode. But meanwhile, as that relationship is developing and growing and being awesome, Haruto and everyone else is trying to find out where Shupen is. And it turns out that Kamen Rider Beast, before they actually got onto the bus back in the previous episode, left the Griffin, his familiar, the Griffin, inside Shupen's backpack. So that, oh my god, I keep flip-flopping on his damn name. Anywho, uh, let the Griffin in his backpack to allow him to track him wherever he goes. And it turns out that the Griffin is seeing an old bowling alley. But it turns out that once Kamen Rider Wizard gets there, that the bowling alley is not where Shupen is, but where Medusa is. But she didn't know that Kamen Rider Wizard was there, nor that the Griffin was there. Why? Because the Gremlin actually took the backpack and the Griffin and set it up to where that Medusa and Haruto would actually meet and fight. Realizing this after a pretty awesome fight scene and pretty smart move on Haruto to be, well, use his land form so that, Medusa can't turn him into stone. Um, After a really cool fight, the Gremlin pretty much reveals himself, and Medusa's pretty much like, you were fucking using me! I'm gonna kill you! And she gets pissed quite quickly, and she goes after Gremlin really fast, while Haruto is left trying to figure out where, like, the Gremlin Phantom says, meet us at the shipyard tomorrow, and then leaves. And Medusa follows him. And of course, Haruto goes back having to figure out a way to handle this hostage situation. While the Gremlin is being attacked by Medusa, Medusa actually is ready to just shove that staff she has right up his ass and turn him into a popsicle. But the Gremlin, of course, says, no, 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 you don't get it. I was hoping you'd kill him. And though I was using you, I do have a better plan. And then Medusa's like, oh? And then we cut away because we don't get to hear what that is yet. So, what's next? Well, it turns out Kosuke and his grandmother have come to an agreement that they will trade her for Shupen. And this time, they have a plan, but they don't tell you it. It's like that Ocean 11 thing where it's like, are you really going to do this? And then, cut. And it turns to the next day where the Gremlin Phantom and the Were Shark, God, I love the Were Shark. There's even a little funny part where he's in to make you think they're in the bowling alley, he has bowling pins and he's doing this. Yeah. Yeah. I was like, what the fuck is he doing? I don't know. I think it's a workout, but yeah, that's weird. Anywho, he's just awesomely weird. But the Were Shark and the Gremlin come with Shupen, and Kosuke comes with his grandmother, and only his grandmother. No Haruto or anyone else at the moment. And the plan goes off without a hitch. Though, for some reason, Kamen Rider Beast can take off his belt. And that's weird to me because I'm thinking, well, if the Chima feeds off of him and he needs the mana to stay alive, wouldn't the belt be permanently on him? Like, I know the belt allows him to use magic, but also the Chima entered him by him having the belt on. Shouldn't he never be able to take off the belt without, I don't know, dying? I'm wondering that. I might be completely wrong, but I didn't know Kamen Rider Beast could take off the belt. If you're telling me Haruto can take off his belt, that probably is true because, well, when it's off, it has an actual belt. Anywho, Kamen Rider Beast takes off his belt and gives it to the Gremlin Phantom. The Gremlin Phantom takes Kosuke's grandmother and then says, Were Shark, kill Kamen Rider Beast. Why? Because it will make his grandmother despair and turn into a phantom. So they proceed to do that. The Were Shark getting ready to cut Kosuke in half with with a sword, not a katana, but cuts him in half with a sword. But then Kosuke turns into feathers, and then Haruto comes out of the ground and like kicks the gremlin in the face. And so what actually is happening is that Haruto and Kosuke actually had a plan before they even showed up. Now, you're probably going, what was this plan? Well, I forgot to mention something in the last episode's review, and that was this. Haruto's belt is like a PS2. It can play old PS1 games, and it can play new PS2 games. Meaning, since Kamen Rider Beast is an ancient wizard, Haruto can use all of Kamen Rider Beast's magic. So, before they actually met up, the dolphin ring that Kamen Rider Beast has allows Haruto to swim through land. The falcon ring actually allows you to turn into feathers and be safe from harm. So, what they did was they had Kosuke use the spell off of Kamen Rider Wizard's belt and allow him to be practically invulnerable. So, now that the plan is in place and Kamen Rider Wizard has kicked the gremlin away and Wereshark is over there somewhere, they grab Shupin and Kosuke's grandmother and take them both to safety, and then they fight. It's a kick-ass fight, really, and it's really well choreographed. Not too many stunt problems here and there. Nothing that says, "Oh yeah, that was completely a stunt," except for like one or two collapsible items, like the metal barrels that are clearly styrofoam, and the one of the cardboard boxes, one of the the crates that are obviously breakaway crates. Other than that, not too much wrong with this fight scene. It was well choreographed, and I actually liked the whole switch up between Kamen Rider Beast and Kamen Rider Wizard during the fight. But of course, the Gremlin, not wanting to let himself die, escapes and leaves the poor Wereshark to his death to be eaten by Kamen Rider Beast with a kick-ass Kamen Rider Beast lion kick to the face. It was actually pretty kick-ass, and I liked it. So this episode ends with Kosuke returning his grandmother back to her home, but not returning with her, telling her to just let him take care of himself and stay safe so that he doesn't fall into despair himself if he loses his grandmother. And so the episode ends. This episode was, again, really good, and I really liked it. I have to give this a 9 out of 10 on this one. The characters' relationships were actually a lot more fleshed out. You were brought up a lot on speed, and there's actually some phantom plots that you're gonna have to keep watching to figure out. Like, why was Medusa alone in an old bowling alley? What does this bowling alley have a connection with to Medusa? Is it like the Phoenix Phantom in the flower shop, where he used to work at a flower shop, so, he hangs around the flower shop area? So, what does Medusa have to do with this bowling alley? Will we figure out more of her past and who she once was before she turned into a phantom? Who knows? We'll actually see a lot more. I'm pretty sure we'll see a lot more development between the Gremlin Phantom, aka Sora, and Medusa. So, until next time, y'all, peace.